No way, guys. Edwin's butt cheeks have just been revealed for Five Freddy's Secret of the Mimic. We got some Five Nights at Freddy's news today. This is Steam page for Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic that just went up today as of recording. Probably yesterday as of uploading because it takes me a while to edit videos. Now, a lot of this information is not actually new. Like, this is the same description we got from the PlayStation page. Key art's the same, description's the same, is the same trailer, but there are a couple of interesting things here. First off, the publisher is Scott Games, but it's capitalized wrong, so apparently there's only one FNaF game now. The G is supposed to be capitalized. Good job, Steel. Also, screenshots. This is the actual important part. This is the screenshots, it's exciting. Now, this first screenshot was a really good start. As you can see, this is a work in progress on a elephant costume. Now, if you recall correctly from the original Secret of the Mimic teaser, or even the trailer, not the teaser, the trailer, then you would recall that there's different elephant costumes in the game. This is one of those elephant costumes, but it's like work in progress. As you can see, it's not even painted or anything yet. Now, I have looked into all these images, and I didn't find any secrets in any of them, but it's important to note that these are gameplay screenshots. So this is the environment we're seeing in game. This is the next screenshot, and as we can see, this is obviously the Mimic in another elephant costume. It's not the same one as this one, because this one's a work in progress. This is one that's been finished. I believe this is also the one from Ruin. Another environment that looks pretty decent, and also a look at using Jackie's crank in a door here. So I assume you open this door, and then the Mimic starts walking down, and then we have to move away, otherwise he catches us. But in this circumstance, this screenshot was probably taken right before the Mimic starts running at us, because we're pretty close to this thing. I assume this is moments before imminent death. This is obviously a picture of Maestro Music Man. This is a better look than what we got from the trailer, at least a better look at his face. Not too much to say. This is another shot from the trailer of Jackie. Looks great. Again, not much else to say, we've seen this before. But these two images, oh yeah. This is an interesting one. So this was a shot in the office that we saw in the trailer. But there's a change here. In the original trailer, there was no logos on these screens. It just said, please insert data diver. But now, there's logos. Nice. Aside from that, not only is there a sub-terminal here, but there is a second sub-terminal over here. So, for some reason, we have two sub-terminals in this area. And also, this one has a symbol on it. Because this is the part where you plug the data diver in, and it looks like that's this here. You plug the data diver into this hole. But this one has a symbol. I don't know what this symbol means yet, but it's not one of the symbols on the data diver itself. If you recall from the trailer, the data diver has symbols on it, which I assume correlates to the options you have when you open the subterminal. But this is not one of the symbols, this is a different symbol. I don't know what this one means, but I assume it has something to do with why there's two of them. One of them is right here, but one of them requires whatever this symbol means or represents. And this is the sixth and final screenshot. This is actually a detail I missed originally from seeing, is that this is actually propped up on a stage. As you can see, there's a dip here. And a lot of people, myself included, are agreeing that this is probably the welcome show. If you recall from the trailer, you could access a sub-terminal that allowed you to reset the welcome show. And this looks like a show. And I assume this would be early on in the game, because I don't think they would spoil something later on in just the screenshots. The other big thing that's being called out here is the cast here. This is a gator. We saw a cutout of this gator in the trailer. There is a hippo and some frogs. Now, originally, when I saw the frogs and the hippo, because these were on posters from PAX West, I had assumed that they'd be in a band with all the mediocre melodies. This seems to be debunked. It seems like the band are these three or four if you count these separate. These characters are the band. It's not all the mediocre melodies, it's just these characters. It's interesting to see the gator be part of it. Some people say this is a precursor to Monty. I'd probably agree. I'd also agree that these are precursors to the mediocre melodies characters as well. Like, I would agree that this is a precursor to Mr. Hippo. These are precursors to the Happy Frog we see. But aside from that, there's really not much really to talk about. The game looks good. It's cool to get more screenshots. I do think the game looks good, but I do feel like these screenshots are just mostly environments. Environments and characters we've seen before. They haven't really shown off anyone new. They haven't showed off any gameplay, real stuff. As much as these are gameplay screenshots, most of these screenshots don't have any gameplay elements from what I can tell. Like, you have this one which showcases the subterminal stuff. But aside from that, this is just an area you walk through. This is just an area you walk through. This is just an area I mean, I guess you don't walk through this because Maestro Music Man crashes through the ceiling, but this is still, like, just an area. I assume maybe a chase or something. And then there's this, which again shows the rank. I feel like these screenshots aren't the craziest, but they are cool to see. And the game does look good, in my opinion. Next interesting thing is actually not on the Steam page, but this is just some information from SteamDB, which takes information from the Steam page, some of it we don't actually see. So for example, here are the tags that Steel will have set. If you go to the update history, you can actually see that they have set these. These are the tags that Steel gave to the game. Single player, as you'd expect. Story rich, something I've been saying for a while. This game has a very big focus on the story. Multiple endings. Honestly, for modern Fights Freddy's, I just kind of assumed that to be the case. Underground, another thing we probably could have been assuming. Seemed to be a big location. We do seem to drop a few times from the demo that we've heard about. Thriller, makes sense. Survival horror, of course it is. Stealth. So it does seem like this is following in the same footsteps as Security Breach, where the main survival mechanic is stealthing around the enemies. This ties back to the gameplay that I talked about last time, where it was like, yeah, you have some noise distractions where you call them to your location, and then you'd probably have to run before they reach you. But then because you moved them, you can then move to where they were blocking off before. Something like that. And then some of them you have like the rat things that you can throw and to lure them away from you. And I assume they'll just be in general environment stealth as well, where you have like walls and gonna move around where they're looking. The next tags are robots. Like, there's an obvious one. Horror is an obvious one. Atmospheric, maybe see that from the description. AI, I mean, yeah, because it's the mimics in AI. First person, obvious. 3D, obvious. Exploration. This is cool to hear. So there will be elements of exploration in this game. It won't be so linear that there won't be any room to explore. There will be exploration in this game, which is nice because I love exploration. When it comes to free roam games, a big appeal for free roam games for me is being able to explore, and it's part of why I loved Security Breach so much, because I felt that game had a really strong exploration. So it was really nice to see that that is staying in Secret of the Mimic. And then action and adventure. Of course, you're going on an adventure to retrieve the Mimic. Action, stuff happens. All good tags, I think. But most of them not the craziest, but still nice to see. There's another thing here though that I want to call attention to. This game has been in development, or at least the Steam page has existed, since 8th of November 2022. Almost 3 years of development, pretty much what I expected, but still, it makes sense, but it's still cool to know this game's been in development for a while. Some people have been thinking that they work on projects one after another, but no, Steel will do work on projects simultaneously. So this has been in development simultaneously with Ruin and Help 2. And I assume, now that those projects are finished, this game is probably being simultaneously developed with the next game as well. Because Scott even talked about in his interview that Steel are working on another game after Secret of the Mimic as well, which to be fair was obvious. I mean, Ruin had a cliffhanger ending, so of course there'd be something following that, which is probably almost definitely what the next game will be. But I mean, that's getting ahead of myself, right? We're looking at Secret of the Mimic right now. This is all the information on Secret of the Mimic so far revealed by the Steam page, since Steam page just went up. This isn't all the information on the game as a whole, but this is all the information we got from the new Steam page. Tell me, which is your favorite screenshot? For me, personally, I'm a big fan of this one. I just love seeing the work in progress mascot costume. I think this area looks really cool. Hey look, it's got a green light. It looks better than FNaF 3's green lighting. But yeah, was your favourite screenshot the work in progress mascot costume, the elephant in the hallway, Maestro Music Man, Jackie, The Office, or let's just call it the Welcome Show for now. Even if it isn't, let's just call it that for now. And also just tell me in general, what are your thoughts on the game so far? Because I've been pretty excited for Secret of the Mimic. It looks great. The gameplay stuff we've seen so far looks like it has potential, and the story could be huge. This game will be huge for the story. I will be playing this game when it comes out. Maybe not the day it comes out, because I've got a life now, but I will be playing this on video, unless the frame rate is really, really bad that I can't, which is a genuine possibility. I'll see you next time.